Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTG Gold, and today we're going to talk about the recent ban and unban and the move to the game changers list. I don't know what you want to call it, the upgrade to the game changers list or whatever. But we have had some very interesting news come out of the Magic Sphere here recently, and financially, if you have any of these cards, they are skyrocketing, let me tell you, because whew, boy, Panoptic Mirror has never seen a better payday. But let's go on ahead and get into the subject of the day. I wanted to wait a day or so to try and let everybody settle out and figure out how it was going to happen, and now I'm here to give my opinion on the subject because these are some somewhat pretty strong cards. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Some of them getting moved to the game changers list. The ones getting put on the game changers list and unbanned, and the thoughts that they have on what cards may need to be looked at in the future. I didn't bring those up, but if you want to look at the video, they have it on YouTube. It's a good video to watch. It goes into good detail about why they aren't banning or unbanning or bringing cards back at the time. So I think it's a good listen. I listened to the whole thing almost, and I got a lot out of it. But let's go on ahead and get into the first one. So we have 5 cards that are now unbanned and are on the game added to the game changers list. Starting with Coalition Victory, Braid's Cabal Minion, Sway of the Stars, Gifts Ungiven, and Panoptic Mirror. Oh, buddy. So, one of these I have seen more people talk about than anything else, and that is Gifts Ungiven. In the CEDH sphere, I've seen the talks of this is going to revolutionize breach lines. This is going to change, this is pretty much another tutor for decks that have blue in them. And this is a less restrictive tutor because this is 4 cards, 2 in the graveyard, 2 in your hand, and for 3 and a blue. I mean, this is go get your combo pieces turn 2 maybe if you're lucky. Coalition Victory is play your 5-color commander, have anything that says all of your lands are all of your lands are a basic land type, like the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Prismatic Omen, anything that makes all of your lands all land types, and voila, you win the game pretty much. So that one is it's pretty good. Braid's Cabal Minion. Now these are the 2 that I think are going to be the most like meh, because Braid's Cabal Minion turn 1 is like super hard now, especially without the use of Jeweled Lotus. And I think they did not unban Jeweled Lotus. They did not unban it and put it on the game changers list specifically because of this. Because I mean, what's the point? What's the possibility that it's a very, very high up there possibility, but a turn 1 Braids is going to not allow for any kind of good gameplay, and Sway of the Stars is just I'm sorry, but 8 mana, 8 generic by itself is a large ask. But for 10 mana, for everybody to shuffle everything into their library and draw 7, then start, it's kind of like a mini Shahrazad, but I feel like this is way more fair than, Worldfire, because Worldfire sets everything in 1. So, Sway of the Stars, definitely meh. It's not really gonna bother anybody. Definitely a really unique card if you're wanting to play with those kind of cards. Now, one that I'm kind of like, I'm iffy on is the Panoptic Mirror. because Panoptic Mirror was banned for back in the day, and this is words from a good friend of mine. They were like, oh, well, we can just put an extra turn spell underneath it and just keep casting extra turns and just keep taking extra turns. It's pretty wild. Now, for this to be on the Game Changers list, this represents to me that you're able to do more of those things. Because, 3 and 4 and 5, you're playing just balls to the wall, literally just throwing everything you can at the wall and hoping something sticks to get you the win. So Panoptic Mirror with multiple turn spells is a great, it's a great thing. So we're just gonna, I feel like these are fair to be put on the Game Changers list. Now, whether Gifts Ungiven stays on the Game Changers list and doesn't go back to banned, only time will tell. If I'm gonna be a betting man, I feel like Gifts Ungiven is going to be the first card from the Game Changers list onto the banned list from this group. But we're gonna move on to the cards that have moved off the Game Changers list. Trinisphere and Trouble in Pairs. They have given their words. In their words, they have said that Trinisphere is not as bad of a. It's only seen in higher power decks that are wanting to do a certain thing, and that's stacks. And you don't see a lot of stacks decks in the 1 to 2 range. If you're playing a stack deck in a 1 to 2 range, I'm really concerned about how you consider that a 1 or a 2. But, I mean, there are stacks pieces that might be necessary early on in the game if you're willing to, if you're wanting to play that type of game. But if it's that early and then that low of a bracket, I'm concerned. That's just my personal opinion. Now, Trouble in Pairs, man, I mean, I don't know, because if an opponent would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. That is literally an amazing thing to have in Commander. And I'm glad this isn't banned. I'm just glad it's free for everyone to use, more or less. And, the card draw effect, can pile up some cards. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell, you draw a card. So, I mean, it's not each thing. So if they cast their second spell, they attack with 2 or more creatures, or they draw their second card, you could draw 3 cards up in one turn. This could be a white Rhystic Study. A little bit more expensive, but you're doing more things. So this is still powerful in my eyes, but I don't think that it could be. I mean, at the 4 mana slot, I feel like this would be not as strong. But we'll see. Now let's talk about the cards that have moved onto the Game Changers list from regular, just regular status. They were they were cards you can put in the decks, and now they are moved onto the Game Changers list. We have Mishra's Factory, Field of the Dead, Aura Shards, Food Chain, Natural Order, Seaborn Muse, Orcish Bowmasters, Notion Thief, Deflecting Swat, Gamble, Worldly Tutor, Crop Rotation, Necropotence, Consecrated Sphinx, Intuition, Narset, Humility, and Teferi's Protection. So we have 2 lands, a multicolor spell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green cards, 2 red cards. Notion Thief is another multicolor card. I don't know why it's like there, but Notion Thief. 2 black cards, 3 blue cards, and 2 white cards. I want to go on ahead and talk a little bit about the lands. So Mishra's Workshop is super good, and not only that, but it is low key super expensive. And I cannot see, me personally, I have only seen it played one time, and that was on Moto. A content creator was using it in a deck, and it was super overpowered in that deck. Field of the Dead can cause some repetitive gameplay, especially when it comes to the use of making multiple land drops in decks that, you know, just so happen to be, you know, either doing zombies or doing a wide hitting mana base, such as, you know, 4, 3, 5 colors. So I feel like this is a good call, especially because crop rotation, crop rotation is basically one of the things that goes for the Field of the Dead. Now let's talk about the multicolor spells. We have Aura Shards and Notion Thief. Notion Thief, along with Narset, are those type of cards that are way too powerful, especially if you include wheels. And Orcish Bowmaster and Consecrated Sphinx are those cards that benefit way too much from you casting a wheel or so on and so forth. And those can just kind of flip the game on a dime after a wheel, because now you have essentially handicapped your opponents to one card, if that, especially with Notion Thief. Or you've handicapped them to where you're drawing the quadruple amounts, especially, and that's not limited if somebody copies your Consecrated Sphinx, because now you are just drawing until you just run out of cards at that point. And that can just lead to unfair and unfun play patterns that they've said. Yes, removal is a thing, and I'm sorry, but let's see. That is a enchantment, creature, spell, which is instant or sorcery, which Deflecting Swat is a free spell. So, I mean, that can just be a problem all on its own. They've already done Fierce Guardianship. I'm surprised that Deflecting Swat wasn't on the list in the beginning. Yes, I don't know where I was going with the instant or sorcery, but everything can be countered. Anything can be countered. None of these spells can't be countered on them. It's just the fact that these are deployed at certain points and times in which they become the most advantageous to that player. So now we're going to the green spells. Food Chain and Natural Order, Seaborn Muse, Crop Rotation, Worldly Tutor. Worldly Tutor and Crop Rotation, I mean, they're good, but I mean, Food Chain, super good. Natural Order, Worldly Tutor, and Crop Rotation are essentially tutors. Crop Rotation is, in my opinion, Gaia's Cradle +1 at that point. It's a fetch for Gaia's Cradle, pretty much. Worldly Tutor helps just get you whatever green creature you may need. Natural Order does pretty much the same thing. It becomes a toolbox tutor. Food Chain has just so many different repetitive pieces that if you build it, there's no doubt that you will be able to find a line somewhere with Food Chain and win the game with it. Seedborn Muse. Seedborn Muse is one of those cards where if somebody has it, they end up taking your turn, the next player's turn, along with their own turn. So you're essentially, a Seedborn Muse player is getting 4 turns in a rotation if there's not more people at the table. And I can see where this could definitely be a problem, and it might be as well a problem, might already be a problem. So I can understand the Seedborn Muse game changer. Now let's go to the red cards. Gamble and Deflecting Swat. I've already said my little piece on Deflecting Swat. Gamble, I don't know, man. Gamble is not as bad as they think it is. Yes, it is a turn 1 when your hand is completely full tutor, but you still have 7 cards in hand. That is a I wouldn't say 15. It's like there's a percentage of the chances that you will discard the card that you're looking to keep. So I wouldn't even say 14. I don't know. I'm not a math person. But I just don't feel like gamble. Yes, it's a tutor. It's an unconditional tutor. I just feel like that drawback isn't as bad as they think it is. Orcish Bowmaster and Necroponents, now that we're moving on to the black cards. Orcish Bowmasters is, I'm sorry, but I've only seen Bowmasters in like competitive EDH decks. I have only seen Bowmasters in CDH decks. I have not seen a Bowmasters in the wild in a non-CDH deck. So, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's essentially just making you have to play it in the game, moving it to the Game Changers list. Necropotence. So Necropotence does just snowball you, you know, everything, every life that you have -1, pretty much. And that's it. Just, if you can find a way to do it, you can win on your end step. So, I mean, that's where this card gets really bad really fast. Especially since it's just, there's essentially no downside, especially if you can find a ways around, you know, if you can gain the life back. So, yeah, you're skipping your draw step, but I mean, when you've sculpted the perfect 7 out of 40 cards, do you really need a draw step? I'm just saying. Necropotence is a good choice. All of these, in my opinion, are good choices, except for Gamble. I feel like they could take Gamble back off. Worldly Tutor Crop Rot, Seedborn, Natural Order, Food Chain, Aura Shards, Cabin, Field of the Dead, Mishra's Workshop, or Mishra's Factory, whatever one it is. Bowmaster's Notion Thief, Necropotence, Consecrated, Intuition. That one's another one that I'm meh about. Narset, all of them. All of those except for Gamble are good inclusions to the Game Changers list. I feel like if you want to play those kind of cards, you want to look for a crowd that's wanting to do those type of things. Consecrated Sphinx, Intuition, and Narset. Narset, nobody likes Narset. Anytime I've seen a Narset played, if it's not hit in the first turn, then it doesn't matter. Because unless they plan on wheeling you, Narset's just you can't draw more than one. I mean, and if you're in a certain type of deck, you're not going to be able to do that anyway. So, Intuition. Search for any. It's another tutor for 3. They choose 1. You can put that card in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. It's another. They may have moved it to the Game Changers list, but it has not moved where it's played. It sees barely any play. In me seeing it, I've never seen it in the wild in less than a CDH deck. Consecrated Sphinx. I mean, it's a good card. Maybe I'm on the fence on that one too. Like, it might be on one of those, like, yeah, gambles. It might be on the list with Gamble, and maybe it was too soon to jump on that. But I can see in what they said, what Gavin said with Consecrated Sphinx, and how it could be just a no fun stall out thing for other players at the table. Especially since it just snowballs you into advantage. And now finally we're going to move into the white cards. We have Humility and Teft's Protection. Teft Pro. I barely ever see anybody play Humility at all, if any. I don't even think I've seen it played in CDH. This is one of the more jank cards, in my opinion. But because it they lose all abilities or 1/1s. I feel like this just draws the game out so long, and it just becomes just one of those knockout drag out type of games. And I can honestly see where they go with this one. I can agree with the choice to move it to a game changers list if it was even played as much as half of some of these other cards. Teferi's Protection debuted in a commander deck and has now become one of the most popular and most powerful cards that Wizards is trying to make knockoffs of. Teferi's Protection had its time in the sun. Teferi's Protection is a good card, really good card, and if you're willing to move up, if you're willing to play this card, you should be able to move up to where you actually have to use it to defend yourself, and not, oh well, they're gonna board wipe, so I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna phase out. No, you need, if you're gonna move up, if you're gonna want to play this, you're gonna need to move up and actually think about when it is the best to use this card. And I can agree that it goes to the game changers list because this would just really just make feel bads. And like I said, I mean, all of these cards except for Gamble and maybe Consecrated Sphinx, I agree with being on the game changers list. Ore Shards is oppressive. Food Chain, Crop Rot, Worldly Tutor, Seedborn, Deflecting Swat, Necro, Intuition, Narset, Humility, Orcish Bowmasters. Those are all cards that see EDH play, so I can definitely assume that those are fine to go. But like I said, there are a few that I have my issues with, but let's look at the new Game Changers list. So with the inclusion of the 5 that have been unbanned and moved to the Game Changers list, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 in white. We have a lot more. We have 18 more cards to worry about on the Game Changers list. So if there was 40, there's now 58, essentially. 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, if I'm correct. My math might be incorrect, and I know, like I said earlier, I'm horrible at math. But that is our new Game Changers list. What do you guys think about this change, this move towards a more balanced casual play? Because so far, the removal of those two, I feel like it's getting more, it's getting that threshold is getting tighter to where they're kind of moving in closer and closer to where this is going to get, it's going to be fine. The commander, the casual side, the 1 to 3 is going to be so much easier to match up with, to make it to where it's easier for everybody to play on an equal footing, as they say. But only time will tell. I mean, if your play group doesn't even worry about brackets or game changers, I mean, that's completely fine too. I mean, if you're playing with a set group, you understand that, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure that if you really wanted to, you could play a no ban list and just play whatever you want if you're playing with your friends, and that's fine. It's just those like me and other people like me that are trying to get games out in the wild that are unsure of, the play styles or the culture in that area, should I say, or online. Because I've been playing spell table games, and it gets vastly different depending on what people are playing and where. Because you could be playing a 3 or even a 2, and somebody brings Edgar Markov, and you're just like, well, this is turned into a 4 real fast, even though that it's just a a 3 game or a 2 game. And yes, I understand. And they have said that they are going to be looking at commanders specifically some in the future, but that'll come along, later on. And we do have another ban and unban announcement probably in June, I believe, after the next MagicCon, the next big MagicCon. So that'll be interesting to see what happens after that. But I've rambled on long enough. I appreciate everybody that liked, comments, and subscribed to the channel. You guys are really doing it, or really helping me out a lot by doing that. And if you don't like the content, hey, I still appreciate y'all sitting and watching. If you have a complaint, leave it down in the comment section below. I love having discussions, but I also like learning a new, different point of view. So, are you guys excited for this update of the bracket system of the Game Changers list? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm excited to see what you guys think. But that is going to be it, and I will see you guys next time in the graveyard.